Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all good. So for today's video, as you can probably see by the title, I'm going to be talking about the menstrual cup. So obviously that does mean that this is going to include some period talk. So if you're not comfortable with that, it's probably not the video for you. But if you like a bit of period talk, then stick around because I'm going to go into some details about the menstrual cup, why I use it, the pros and cons and all that jazz. So on Instagram I asked if you had any questions that you would like me to answer or go into details with, and quite a few people actually got in contact with me and asked about it. So I think people are quite curious about it. They're not sure whether they want to use it, but they want to know more about it first before they take that step. And I was exactly the same. Before I started using the cup, I didn't really know much about it, and my mum kept pushing and pushing to say, like, you have to try this out. And I did. I've now been using a menstrual cup for about 6 months, I think, and honestly I would never go back. Firstly, I'm going to let you know the brand that I use. There are a few different brands out there, but I have the Moon Cup. So this is a little bag that it comes in. Now you can buy these a few different places. They sell them on ASOS, and on ASOS they're £22, but on the actual Moon Cup website they are £21.99, so pretty much the same, and you get free delivery with that too. There are also a few different other websites you can get them from. There's a website called Bodykind, and if you just put it into Google, lots of different ones will come up. They come in 2 different sizes as well. There's a size A and a size B. So the size A will be for if you are over 30 or you have given birth vaginally. That's not how you say it. Vaginally. It's a really hard word to say. Yeah, so if you have given birth vaginally or you're over 30, you will need the size A. And the size B is for if you are under 30 and you have not given birth vaginally. Vaginally? It doesn't sound right. Vaginally. So if you are under 30, like me, I'm 28, but I have given birth vaginally, I've got to stop, then I would need to go for the size A, which I did. This is what it comes in a little bag. The cup comes with a long stem. You then have to cut that to your liking. So at first it's quite long, it kind of comes all the way down to here. Obviously you wouldn't want to keep it like that because it would just get in the way. But yeah, it comes like that. So I'm going to quickly just give you a demonstration of how you would pop it in. There's a couple different ways. The way I do it is I fold it in half like that, slot it in there, and then it kind of pings open and it just sits there. Before I started using it, I thought it is never going to stay in place, especially if I'm exercising, jumping up and down. It's not going to stay in. If I sneeze, it's going to fall out. That was my thinking. It doesn't. It honestly does not. Yeah, you pop it in, and then this little toggle, I'm going to call it a toggle, you want to cut it to comfortable length. You don't want it too long, but also you don't want it too short because you still need to be able to grip it to then put it out. And the way you put it out, you have to get it in a squat-like position. You can do it on the toilet, but you just have to be kind of in a squat position, and you literally just pull it out and it will come out, trust me. The first month that I used it wasn't the most comfortable month, I'm not going to lie. I thought I'm never going to be able to carry this on, it's too complicated or it's too much stress having to pull it out and get back in, blah blah blah. But yeah, once you get used to it, it's so much easier. Yeah, so I am so glad that I did start using this. One of the main reasons why I wanted to start using it was to be more environmentally friendly, because I was going through a lot of sanitary town. It's not good for the environment, so that was my main reason. And also I had read that it can help with menstrual cramps and just the uncomfortableness of a period, and for me it 100% has helped with that, but I will go into a bit more detail on that towards the end of the video. I now just want to answer some of your questions that you asked, because there were quite a few, so I really want to get through as many of them as I can. The first question was, can it cope with extreme flow? How long can you leave it in, and can it fall out if too full? So it 100% can cope with a heavy flow, because I don't want to get too TMI, but I have always had an extremely heavy flow. It always reminds me of Mean Girls when she says,
I can't help it if I've got a heavy flow and a wide set vagina.
Whenever I'm on my period, that's all I can think about because it's so heavy. But it definitely can cope with a heavy flow. Trust me, it can. The only thing I would suggest is wearing like a little tenor lady or just a little smaller pad inside your knickers on your very heavy days, just in case you do leak a little bit. You will never leak massive amounts of blood with that in, but you might get, do you know, like a bit of spotting that might come through on it. Can get reusable pads, so it's not like a pad material, it's like a cotton kind of thing that you would then put in the washing machine. So that's a really good idea to get one of them if you are trying to be more environmentally friendly. If you put that cup in and then you had a pad, that pad would just last you all day, because there wouldn't be much going on to it, if you know what I mean. There would only just be a bit of spotting. How long can you leave them in for? You can leave them in for up to 8 hours. So they do say to change them twice a day, so that would kind of be every 4 hours, but you can also sleep in them overnight. You can keep them in for a maximum of 8 hours, similar to tampons, I think. I don't know, I never used tampons, but I think that's probably the same amount of time. So as long as you are changing it within the 8 hours, then you'll be absolutely fine. And as I said, I do have a very heavy flow, so it's not going to overfill within that time. Trust me, it won't overfill. I thought that at first, and I was kind of changing it every 2 hours because I was worried that I was so heavy and it would fill up. But when I was changing it after 2 hours, it was not full at all. Yeah, as long as you're not going over the 8 hours, then you'll be fine. It will not overflow. And the part of that question was, will it fall out? It won't fall out. I have done vigorous exercise with this cup in. Like, I've been doing body combat, I've been doing metafit, like HIIT training, and I've been jumping up and down like a lunatic, and it has not budged. It is in there. It's like a vacuum. Like, once it's in, it's sucked in there. It's not going anywhere, guys. I couldn't believe it myself either. This is awkward. The first month I could really feel it in there, and it did feel uncomfortable, and I thought, I'm not going to be able to get along with this. But I gave it another go the next month, and I'm so glad I did, because now when I put it in, I can't even feel that it's in there. I go on with my day and I don't even feel like I'm on my period, honestly. And that was not me. Before I started using this cup, I had the worst period pains. It was so heavy, I wouldn't be able to go out because I'd be in so much pain. I'd be doubled over in pain. And that's another thing I want to tell you about, is how it's helped with my cramps. It's not actually proven that it helps with your cramps, but for me it has. It's like magic. Okay, another question. There was a couple questions about, does it stay in place? As I said, it does stay in place. You could be jumping up and down all day long, sneezing and coughing your guts up, it's going to stay in place. Might still wet yourself, like that's a different thing, because when I sneeze I have to really be sure I don't wet myself, so that it's not going to help with that. It's not a miracle worker. So a lot of people asked about what brand. I think I touched on that before. There are lots of different brands out there. I've gone with the Moon Cup brand. I don't really know why. I think my mum swayed me in that direction. They're a very reputable brand, and I read up about them. I liked their whole ethical views, and I thought they were the best ones to go for. I did make a list of some other brands though, in case you wanted to try something else out. So there's one called Enna Cup, which is a similar price range. There is an Organic Cup, which is slightly cheaper. There's a TOTM, which was a bit cheaper as well, and there was an Ever Cup. So yeah, there are lots of different brands out there. You kind of just need to look into it and decide what brand you'd prefer to go to. But I would recommend the Moon Cup because that's the one I use and I've always got along with it. But I think they're all probably quite similar. So another question, there's a couple of questions about this actually. If you have to change it in the day, how do you clean it? And then just genuinely, how do you clean the cup? You can leave it in for up to 8 hours, but personally I do change it a couple times in the day. But how I change it at home is my toilet is very close to my sink, so I'll sit on the toilet, I'll take it out, empty it into the toilet, then I will wash it with warm water in the sink, just rinse it out, and I'll pop it back in. Obviously before I'm getting on the toilet I'm washing my hands, and then after I'm washing my hands I also then put an antibacterial moisturiser on my hands as well, so I'm trying to keep it as clean as I possibly can. And then after each cycle, when your cycle's over, you then can thoroughly clean it. So you want to put it in some boiling water for about 5 to 7 minutes, and then you can even get like a sterilizer lotion, you know what you put in baby sterilising bottles. You can use that and put it in with that, and leave it there for a bit, and then just rinse it really thoroughly after and pop it back in the bag, and that will keep it nice and clean. When you are just changing it during the day, it only really needs a rinse. As long as you're making sure you've got clean hands and you're rinsing it thoroughly, then that is all it needs. If you are out and you need to change it, I would probably recommend having like, you know, like a Tupperware box, filling that up with some warm water, and then taking that. I know that this is the bit that might sound like hard work, but it's probably not very often that you'll be out for the 8 hours and we'll have to do that. But yeah, if you have a Tupperware box, fill it up with warm water before you go into the toilet, and then rinse it with that, and then just pour that down the toilet. I know it doesn't sound like the best thing. I've never had to do that, but I don't have to go out to work and be out for 8 hours. I'm never out for 8 hours. I'm always can take a trip home within that time. So yeah, if you are one of them people that will have to be out for more than 8 hours and go in a public toilet, then I would maybe recommend bringing a Tupperware box with you and doing it that way. Another question that I had is, does it hurt? Honestly, for me personally, it does not hurt. I fold it up in the way I said, pop it up there, and then it's there. You can't even feel it. Maybe your first month you'll be more aware that it's there, but once you get used to it, you honestly cannot feel that it's there. And then getting it out, it might at first as well feel a bit uncomfortable, but once you kind of get in the hang of it and you feel more comfortable with doing it, it's just a case of putting it out. If you're in the right position, you won't really feel it coming out. You've got to make sure you're in that kind of squatted position so you're open to it coming out. In my opinion, it does not hurt a bit. I think I've covered most of the questions now, but if you have any other questions that I haven't answered, then please do just pop them in the comments. I'll be happy to have a little chat with you about it. I hope this video has helped bring some light on the whole menstrual cup thing. For me, the menstrual cup has changed my period life. As I said before, like, I had awful periods. I had so much period pain and I had such a heavy flow, and now that I wear the cup, I don't even know I'm on my period. Ask my friends, because whenever they say to me, oh, I'm on my period, I've got really bad period pains, my first thing, they're starting to get annoyed now, but I'm like, have you tried the menstrual cup? Because I can't rave about it enough. I'm just so happy about it. So thank you, Mum, for introducing me to the menstrual cup. It is amazing, and I would never go back. Once you go cup, you never go back. How can I find something that rhymes with that? Once you go cup, the only way is up. Yes. Right, that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped. If you did like it, please do give it a little thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for lots of other videos, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.